Good evening, everyone. This is Steve from Stormy Sky Rail Productions. Hopefully, everybody's staying warm. Hey, and there's Stormy Dave. He's on.
Hello.
We got Stormy Dave just in time. He had some technical difficulties, but hopefully, everybody's staying warm this cold week. um, I don't mind winter, but this one I'm kind of getting sick and tired of. I don't mind the cold, but I'm just getting tired of it. I'm looking forward to some spring. It's just been a broken record um, around here. So, what you been up to, Dave? Before we start the stream out here, let everybody know what's been up with you, and then we'll give a stormy segment and stuff like that. Just to see out trackside, or we'll get to your video. We'll get to your layout stuff afterwards. I just was wondering what you've been up to.
Been building structures, working on a structure. Working on a structure.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing people can be doing right now in this very cold winter we've been having across the nation. I'd like to welcome a few people in here. Good evening, James from Fog and Flange. Uh, Hot Dog Andy Pilot, howdy from overseas. Let's see, who else do we got? Lantern Signals, good evening. Thanks for joining us this evening. And Grandpa Rails, hello to you also. A Nurse Curly Express, I'd like to thank him for joining us this evening. And CCRX, 6700, Mr. Dave. Hopefully everything's going well with you in Southwest Pennsylvania. So, um, we've been kind of working on, excuse me, some projects. Um, I've been scanning some of my old photos. Um, of, I didn't know what the theme was going to be. I had so much in the one. I guess it's going to be Wisconsin Central this evening. I had Jenny help me scan the rest of the slides on the computer, and we edited the photos. Those will be upcoming. I will be showing them what I took trackside in the very early 90s. And then I'm hoping maybe even in a couple of weeks we'll have another live stream. I'm trying to get my old good friend who I knew from the Union Pacific Chicago Northwestern days. He's a retired signal maintainer. He would be welcomed in on one of our live streams, and he said that would be great. So we get him on board, and he can talk about the CNW days with the signal department, and then the transfer onto the UP. I do have pictures of the CNW. Lots of them I dug up from my time trackside by the Chicago Northwestern in the 80s and 90s, early 90s there, before with the CP. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, our live stream at the end of next month, we got scheduled. My coworker, Steve Whedon, will be on. We will be discussing thermite welding. We have a photo slideshow, and we'll be powwowing about what we did at work and stuff like that. So that should be an interesting show. So we're looking forward to that to round out February. So, and I can't wait because it's closer to spring. So anyway, with that, we're gonna go ahead and show our Stormy segment. This is for you, CCRX. Better have Freddie
What do you want,
watch.
Stormy? Huh? What do you want? Not talking?
Usually he meows like crazy for dinner, but today he didn't. So hopefully in the next go around. This is Stormy expecting his dinner early again and again every day. So that's Stormy begging for dinner. He didn't really meow too much like he always does. He gives us the business about an hour and a half early. So hopefully we get some video. I don't know if we got another one of that, or is that it? That's it. Okay. So with that, we're going to go ahead and roll our segment into the Wisconsin Central back in the days. This is, excuse me, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Oh, too fast. Can we back up one or no?
This is number one.
Okay, that's number one. Okay. I guess hopefully we'll see that first photo that was up. This was taken at DePlainville, Wisconsin, where back then, the CPA back then crossed the Wisconsin Central. And on the right-hand side is the connection track, which is no longer there. That was ripped out a few years ago. And a lot of us really, there's some inside information on that, but it shouldn't have been ripped out, but it is. So it looks a lot different now, a lot more overgrown. I should have looked for a picture recently of on the right-hand side. It's all overgrown trees and stuff now. It's a lot different. This was back in, I think, 1990 or 91, the oncoming WC train there. So, and a couple of the rail fans right there that we were with. Next. So, some boxcars at Quad Graphics. Now, this is up in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin at Shop's Yard. This is back when you could go almost onto the property and go shoot whenever you wanted. Shoot the trains up here. Nobody really said anything unless you were really doing something stupid. But it was a different time trackside. A lot of us older guys know how it used to be back then. It was not like it is now. Everybody's barking about, oh, you're trespassing here, or you're doing this, or you're doing that. It was a lot better time trackside back then, and I'm glad I got on the tail end of that good era. And Dave's scanning some really good oldies there. So hopefully when he gets done, he's before I am in my time trackside.
Yeah, I sure am.
Yeah. All right. I guess it's waiting to flip here. On to the next photo. Here we go. That same train in the first photo. He was taking a connection track. This is a job that went from Fond du Lac and transferred into Milwaukee in the Canadian Pacific Yard here. I have some cool pictures of that WC unit I shared before, of the map unit in earlier videos and photo slideshows. But this job went until, oh man, I'm trying to remember what year they stopped this job from going. I think it's after the Canadian National took over, or were they still going? I think they were still going after the Canadian National took over. And I'd say about maybe 12 years ago, they stopped running this job down to Milwaukee, something like that in the 2000s, 2010s. But this job here, I got the Wisconsin Central 586 leading. Wisconsin Central is known for all EMD power, which is I miss all that really big time. It was a great railroad that got sucked up by the Canadian National, like the EJ&E did in Illinois Central. So it's kind of sad to see looking at all these old photos. But he's heading down to Milwaukee. When that job was going, there was on the east end of that, on the right-hand side, it bends around the whole way, and there's a crossover switch right on the east end. Well, Wisconsin Central derailed a couple boxcars in the interlocking at the Plainville. I ended up working all night and all the next day. Way back in the mid 90s, I worked at derailment. So we have to wait for this to time out and then on to the next photo. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us this evening. And here's one of my buddies, rail fan, waving to the engineer from the WC train. And here is the hind end of the consist going on, hooking around the bend to go to Milwaukee on the connection track at the Plainville, Wisconsin. They had a really good, cool paint scheme, and really cool engines. A lot of SD45s. Here's another WC unit I got. I think this is the Plainville too, on another train. It kind of got cut off. I thought I was in position. And then there was an ex-Burlington Northern unit also on that train. Some great stuff back then. Here's another one, another WC train. I think this was at the Plainville also. The Plainville looks so much different now than it did when I took these photos. Lots growing up around the area. It was a lot different back then. A lot more quieter. So, wait. And this is up in Fond du Lac. You got the old CNW on the right-hand side where the hopper cars are parked. Actually, I think that was the Northwestern at that time. Northwestern and FRV, Fox River Valley Railroad, shared, I think, at that time, if I remember correctly. So this is a WC engine sitting there up at Fond du Lac area. So and the tracks there are no longer on the right-hand side where the hoppers are. They tore that out when they used to run side by side when it was the original Sioux line where this WC unit's parked, and then the Chicago Northwestern on where the hopper cars are. And this is the Plainville, Wisconsin, right at the Diamond. This is a WC unit XBN unit traveling south across the Diamonds. I took care of this part of the section most of my railroad career, right at the Diamonds here on the double track part. They were single track going through there. So looked a lot different back then, especially on that angle in the background. There's buildings back there now and all that stuff. And then that's all right, Jenny. Okay, on the left hand side of this picture, I wish I would have grabbed a picture of that from one I seen on Facebook. It used to be an old Milwaukee Road tower there. It used to be a tower at the Plainville. I forgot what year that got ripped out, but it looked really cool. It had signals there and stuff. Was really cool. That was after it was torn down before my railroad career, so I didn't really remember it too much. This is back in Fond du Lac. It was snowing lightly that day. It was very cold December. There's some switch engines getting ready to go. I think those two are parked. A lot of parked units there. We got pictures of, and we got the WC here, and I think in the back end of that's the CNW FRV. Here's some switchers working up in Fond du Lac and Shops Yard. There was a few of them around until recently, and I think they got rid of the rest of the switchers. of the CN that were old WCs. We actually have video of WC units going bye-bye as recent as I think last year or the year before. We do have video that we haven't posted yet, I don't think. Here's another WC unit up in shops. Like I said back then, you could get practically a lot of more places than you can now. And now it's like Fort Knox. It's like you can't even get near too much of this anymore like you used to. There used to be a main road that went right through the yard, which we might see in an upcoming photo.
Right.
Yeah, and you could go. Yeah, you could walk right through on the main street there, go and take as many pictures and all that stuff without getting kicked off or whatever. It was great time. And if you notice in the background, nice clean cars, no scribble, scrabble, spray painted all over them. It was a good time back then.
Yeah, I used to park in that parking lot right across from the tower there with my son when he was little, and we'd watch him kick cars and switch, and now it's all closed off.
Yep, it's different. And this, I had to add this in. This was up in Green Bay. We took a trip up to Green Bay, and the Wisconsin Central at this point had to wait for the FRV, the Fox River Valley Railroad, when CNW gave them track. It was a little short line that didn't last very long. Fox River Valley Railroad. They're with the yellow and red engine locomotive. And then the WC's waiting at the Diamond, and they have a gate at their Diamond up there. And I don't know if this is even around anymore. This is way back when. I highly doubt if half this stuff is around anymore. And here's another shot of the FRV going through the Diamond on their track up at Green Bay, Wisconsin. There's some more photos of the WC. Switchers working at Fond du Lac. Here's a train coming in shops with the WC unit and a former BN unit. They had some cool units, a lot of EMDs, a lot of SD45s on their roster back then too. This is another shot of a train. I think this was the Green Bay coal train. If I remember correctly, I see a string of coal cars on the end of that. The WSPX, I think the initials were on that Green Bay. Green Bay power plant's no longer in use. Actually, they started running the coal trains again until they tore the Green Bay power plant down not too long ago. I have a train of the empty coal train headed back to get filled up in Burlington, Wisconsin on the CN there not too long ago. That's posted on our CN playlist somewhere. Yeah, that yard was busy back then. It still is busy now with the CM. We used to a lot of WC action up there, up in shops in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I see another train getting ready to leave that day when we were up there. And here's going back to Green Bay. The Fox River Valley passed, and now the CN has the clearance to go through. So this was one of their. I'm not mistaken. I think this was one of their intermodal trains that were going through that day.
It's like a trailer.
Here's another shot earlier of them. And here's some more power at Fond du Lac and Shops. Shops Yard and Fond du Lac, WC power there. And then one switcher doing his work down below there. And a rail box car back then behind the post there. There's a little delay in action here with our program tonight, so bear with us, please. And we got this photo again. Okay, here we go. So yeah, like Dave was saying earlier, this is a straight road that you see behind the engine. It went straight through. It's blocked off now. It's not a main thoroughfare anymore. You used to be able to watch them switch cars on here all the time. This was a crazy area to be. And then, like I said, you can go right up to the tower and in the middle of the tracks and go ahead and watch this. As long as you weren't doing something stupid, they wouldn't mind. So it was a better time back then. And two, you can see the train crew. There's no vests. I think vests started coming in 1997 or 8 on our railroad, at least, and I think that's when the vest policy started coming out throughout the railroad industry. So I started when we had no vests either. I have to wear them. So this caboose is no longer there. This is Interstate 41 now, going through Fond du Lac. This caboose was on the side of the interstate road back then for a long time. They moved it somewhere down in the city of Fond du Lac, and we have pictures somewhere. I forgot to look them up to show you everybody where they moved it, but
yeah. It's in a park in North Fond du Lac, not too far from the Shops Yard.
Yeah, that's right. We have pictures of it, I remember, but updated pictures where they moved it. But yeah, this used to be used to drive past here and look at this all the time.
No.
And here I threw this in because we were up at Shops at the time, watching the WC. Right next to the WC main line, or the former Sioux, was the old Chicago Northwestern. This is a Chicago Northwestern tracks here, and Fox River Valley was there that day, so we got pictures. And if you noticed on the locomotives, there's no ditch lights yet. This was before the ditch lights were acclimated on the U.S. railroads at that time. So here's another WC. Fond du Lac. I'm pretty sure this is Fond du Lac again. I think it is.
Yeah.
It looks like it's Fond du Lac yet. So it's another WC train. We got a lot of WC action the last two times there back then. Let's see, lantern signals. We didn't have to wear vests until a near miss happened at the Roundhouse in Shreveport. Yeah, I know our vests were mandated back when our on-track safety rules came out from the FRA, Federal Railroad Administration, back in '96. And I started before the OTS rules were in effect. And we started wearing our vests, if I'm not mistaken, in '97. Maybe it could have been at the tail end of '96. I thought it was '97 or something. And then they really enforced the vest policy. But before that, obviously. So this must have been around the time that the FRA was lantern signals. You could probably, you were in the operating department. I see the ditch lights on here. Hello, Container Man. Thank you very much for contributing. And if Be safe out there, and thanks for joining us. Okay, about 2010 at the KCS for the ditch lights. Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was around then on some. I don't know if it was all across the nation or some at some point about the ditch light policy. But I was in the operating department, so I can't remember that too well. But the FRV, it was the same time frame these pictures were taken. They didn't have the ditch lights. Some of the WC locomotives did. So So now, of course, they all have them. It's required. So here's another shot of the WC, a couple WC trains. One light power getting ready for his next assignment. The other one has a train hooked up on, waiting to depart Fond du Lac. And here's another locomotive that we got that day, and then the Wisconsin Central boxcar behind it. Those were new back then, newly painted up and looked good. No scribble scrabble spray painted all over them. I call it that. I'm not a big fan of graffiti. I know some people are, but I'm personally not. I miss the Clean Car Club. Good evening. Hey, Georgia Sunbelt. Thank you for joining us this evening. And Harold, it's great to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. If you missed any of this Wisconsin Central presentation of the slideshow, feel free to rewatch when this is done. So anyway, yeah, this is a job up in Fond du Lac with a great WC boxcar on it. I wished I would have took more photos of freight cars back then. I had no idea about all the fallen flags and all this other stuff back then. You thought these railroads were going to be around forever. And now you look back at things, and now you wished you would have took photos after photos after photos. But then back then, you didn't have what we had now, the digital, where you could just keep shooting and shooting and shooting. That would have been great, having these digital cameras back then in the glory days of just before the mergers happened. And this is the old Sioux line. Jenny knows this WC now. It's a former Sioux locomotive, obviously. It's a GP30, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So I got that right. I got some of my locomotives down. I mean, I've always was good at the older models more than the newer, all this other stuff. But this was up in shops too. WC had some great power. They had some ex Santa Fe units that they had running around for a while, and then they repainted them. Wisconsin Central paint scheme. I miss this stuff so much, and you get nostalgic sometimes watching older videos or looking at your older photos and going back in a cool time. These younger guys, man, they can't help it. They were raised in what the modern day gives them, but man, if they only could step back. And then same thing with me, with you, Dave. I wish I could step back even further. It's just the generation stuff,
Yeah,
So,
notice this GP30's got Elko trucks on it from trade-in. They saved some money by trading in their Elkos, and they kept the old trucks.
wow, yeah. I do have some CNW units that are FRV in the upcoming segment when Frank Noble comes on to be our guest speaker from the CNW UP. I have some CNW photos and stuff I scanned in. We encourage everybody to tune into that one, hopefully sometime next month here before our thermite demonstration, thermite welding talk with my coworker at the end of next month. I'm hoping it was at the end of the slides.
Yep.
Okay, but I'm hoping I can show all them cool Chicago Northwestern photos that I got and talk it over with Frank Noble. I built a barroom cabinet for him. Maybe he'll have a photo of what it looks like at Milwaukee Area Technical College. I built a barroom cabinet for him, and he still has it in his basement. So it's going to be an interesting talk when Frank Noble gets on. Like I said, he's a retired signal maintainer from the Chicago Northwestern UP. I talked to him earlier today. He agreed to come on one of our live streams and talk railroading and stuff. So we're pretty excited about that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead, and that was our WC segment, Wisconsin Central. We'll have some more segments like that coming up. I have a lot of photos I found in my photo basket, my box today. So we'll scan them all in, and I'm going to turn it over to Stormy Dave, and he can chat about what he's doing and what his upcoming projects are and all that stuff. So go ahead, Dave. Take it away.
Okay. I started scanning some slides that I have. I have a pretty extensive collection, and oh gosh, I got photos going back to 1972 maybe. And I got some real beauties I scanned in this week. I was up in Escanaba, Wells to be precise, on the Escanaba Lake Superior Railroad, and I have some slides of the sharks from the Delaware Hudson that were sitting out. Real nice photos of them. So they'll be upcoming whenever I can get those slides to Jenny and Steve. My last project, I moved on to another building right now, but was this former Timberline Models tobacco shop. Timberline Models was bought out by Campbell Scale Models, who's now defunct, unfortunately. And this is the beginning of the tobacco shop when I was constructing it. It's mostly pine lumber, wood, strip wood, and milled siding with plastic window and door castings. You see the front and the wall layout. This is when I pretty much was finished with it. It's got the boardwalk with the steps on it, and I put on a shingle roof with some slop running off the smokestack. I still gotta do a little more weathering on this one. I haven't weathered it yet, and I gotta put a sign on it. Here's another view of the front. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate that. And well, as most of you probably know, I'm modeling from like 1890 to 1910. And here's the start of a little town. I'm not happy with my layout height, so I'm going to change that. I'm at currently, what am I at? 49 inches or something like that. I'm going to bring it up to like 54, maybe even 57 inches in height. I like to get it pretty much eye level, but then again, eye level is different for everybody. And there you can see in the foreground, the brown building is a Timberline. That one was the Campbell version of their carriage works. You can see the 1904 Oldsmobile sticking out in front of it. And then across the street, you have the tobacco shop from Campbell Scale Models. And next to it is a Timberline bank and supply store. That'd be the one in the middle. And the furthest, well, not the furthest, but the second furthest back would be Micro Engineering plastic kit with the false front. It's a hay and grain store. And then way back down the end of the street, there's a former Timberline, now Campbell Scale Models freight house. And then there's a Jordan horse and buggy down in the alley between the tobacco shop and the bank and supply store. Those are some fun kits to build. Here's another view looking down what will be the main street. I put some more figures out. The gray building, the opposite side of the street, is a Timberline Models eating house. It's a diner where you could still get 50-cent meals. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Here's a look at another building that I built before the tobacco shop. That is a close-up of the Timberline Models bank and supply store. A lot of these buildings have kept the signs off because they're subject to change. But again, it's milled siding and board and batten siding on the side. The false front is clapboard siding. You got styrene window and door castings. Rest is strip wood. The corbels were little styrene castings. And that one I weathered up. Yeah, Anthony, I'll have to put some ruts in the street when I get that done. I'll probably cast it in plaster and run wagon wheels on it. And here's a rear view of the bank and supply store. It's got the tin roof on it. We got a Weston minifigures guys sleeping back there. And here's my latest creation. I'm just getting towards the final assembly on this one. This afternoon before our broadcast, I assembled all those walls. Now it's actually a three-dimensional standing structure. I got the brace in for the roof. I still have to, it's going to have a steel roof, as you can see in the plans. So I got to glue all those 1/64 by 1/64 inch strip wood strips onto that cardboard roof, and then seal it all, paint it all, make it look like metal. But that's the wall layout on the right and the left. Actually, here I was gluing on some of the internal bracing where your sidewalls will butt up against, so you have a gluing surface. Just clamped with some clips to dry. And here's a few shots I took today of just stuff I have laid out to give me an idea what I want to do. Like I said, I want to raise this layout up higher than it is. Right now, it's you can still look over the rooftops, and I'd rather get something more closer to eye level. That 440 American steam locomotive is a Bachmann with sound and DCC. Those locomotives will eventually be all relettered for my Bitter Creek Railroad. It's a private road name of mine. Thanks, Andy. I appreciate it. Just laying it out to give me some ideas. The lantern hanging up there was a Milwaukee Road lantern. This is my latest steam locomotive I got. I think Harold will appreciate it. It's one of the Athearn. Yeah, here you go. There's a Milwaukee Road lantern. It's an Athearn 260 from their latest release. It's DCC and sound equipped economy soundtracks decoder. Again, that will be relettered, probably my locomotive number 4 for the Bitter Creek Railroad. I have to get some custom decals made up, so that's all in the future too. That little handcar shed is actually a C&W prototype. Here we have just a review of some of the buildings on Main Street. You got a Wild West Models outhouse kit, and then behind it is the back of the Eaton House from Timberline Models, and then you have the Timberline / Campbell Scale Models carriage works back with the sliding door and the steps. Yeah, that is an Ad Lake lamp, Andy. You are correct. I picked it up at an auction. And that's kind of what I have for my layout tonight. Like I say, I'm working on a new building right now, and maybe I can give you a shot of it here. We did earlier. I don't know if I'm getting it or not, but that's my carpenter shop that I'm building. There's above view and plans. But that's what I'm building is a Timberline scale models kit. But that's what I have. Unless you guys want to take a look at the layout, I could walk in here and show you what I have. Here's my E.L. Moore brewery. Got a Schlitz car spotted there. That flat car is a 34-foot Bitter Creek model flat car I built. It's going to be lettered for my Bitter Creek Railroad. And there's a little 440. Take a look down Main Street here. But there's another train I got in the background. Some of the rolling stock I put together. A couple of those wood gondolas. 36-foot flat car. And some other rolling stock, but that's it. Maybe in another month I'll have some more bench work up and at the height I want it, and then I can start laying more track. Just trying to figure out what I want to do. It's a small room that I have. It's, I think, 13 by 8.5 feet, 9 feet. I'm going to make a point-to-point railroad. So that pretty much does it for my segment.
Yeah, Georgia Sunbelt says no saloon there, Dave. You got to have the saloon.
Steve, take her away.
Saloon, Dave. You got to have the saloon. Hear me? No, Dave can't hear me. Can you hear me now, Dave? So anyway,
not unless I turn up my computer. I lost you on our stream.
Okay, we hear you. We see you, Dave. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm here. It's just I don't have sound on my phone that I'm using.
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, Georgia Sunbelt said no saloon, so it was said no saloon. So we want a saloon.
Oh, I do have a saloon kit to build.
So we are trying to get up by Dave.
So eventually I'll have one.
Yeah. So there's a little delay from the computer here. So Jenny and I are trying to get up by Dave and get him hooked up with Mike and all, but the weather has not cooperated here for us lately. This has been just a heck of a winter here so far. It's just clipper after clipper, cold after cold. It just hasn't worked out like we wanted it to. So hopefully by the next live stream, Dave will be able to get himself set up really good for his layout work and everything else, so we can get him set up for that. I'd like to say thanks to Dave for presenting that. I gotta take a drink. A little water. Gotta keep hydrated. So I want to go back.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. I'm glad everybody got to see what I.
I'd like to say thanks for everybody to join us tonight and to rewatch the Wisconsin Central segment. One thing, I look back at those pictures, and like I said, a lot of us older guys will remember. And I think, and I'm going to be a little outspoken here, and I don't care. That's my opinion, and I got every right to it. I know that graffiti is a huge problem all over the world. I know Terry from Australia and stuff. They have it all up there. I know Hot Dog Andy Pilot. You guys probably got it over there. I mean, graffiti is just, it gets to the point where it's just not, it's not art to me. I miss seeing all them old box cars but it was so different back then anyway with the railroad companies. They took more pride in their rolling stock and everything. Now it's just a big business. So back then used to be so much different, as we all know, that were back then. And I wish I would have been able to take my video stuff and my camera that I have now and go back in time and shoot everything I could and bring it digitally here to this this modern day. That would have been cool. Like I said, in the future we're gonna have some more segments of this. I got a segment on track stuff, my older stuff. I got a segment of Wisconsin Southern in the early era. And then I got pictures of the Chicago Northwestern. I got pictures of a lot of the stuff around Chicago area, chassis, seaboard system units. I found a bunch of good stuff today that I got to scan into the computer. Dave does too. Like I said earlier, our next guest speaker, I'm hoping in the next couple weeks, I got to talk to him tomorrow on the phone, hopefully, is Frank Noble. He's a retired, you can bring that up, Jenny, our back screen. That's Frank Noble in his younger days. He's retired now. He's long retired. He used to be the signal maintainer for the Chicago Northwestern, and he retired with the Union Pacific. It was cool being able to get in the spots back then where we used to go and talk to all them guys and get to know them. And like I said, I built a barroom cabinet for him at Milwaukee Technical College. I'm hoping he can show it on the live stream, take a picture of it. We haven't been able to get up by his house either lately, so maybe he can grab a picture and show it on the. Maybe he'll have some pictures too for us to see throughout his career of railroading. Of course, he's the older generation. He'll have a lot of stories to tell about the Chicago Northwestern and his stint. And yeah, Harold, you like the Wisconsin Southern. Yep. And Dave's got to go out and get some more video of them. So we're looking forward to having Frank on in that. Yeah, it's cold. It's winter all over the eastern part of the U.S. And yes, be warm and safe. But yeah, we're glad to have Frank on. Hopefully soon. We'll let everybody know. That'll be an interesting one, having him as a guest speaker. Also, my coworker Steve Whedon will be on next month. At the end of next month, we will have a segment on thermite welding. I know CCRX, you're going to love that one. We don't have any video of it, but we have a lot of pictures I took during our when we could take pictures back then I documented us doing a thermite weld off pictures. So he'll be explaining it. He was our welder at CP for a very long time. Plus we'll have some other slideshows and stories we'll discuss on our railroading career together. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's cool. A ton of pictures of the car haulers. I remember that when I used to go to NASCAR races also. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, we got some thermite welding discussion coming up and some other track stuff. Maybe I'll pull CCRX leg a little bit and see if he'll maybe come on too. And then we'll see. We'll see what happens here. If not, that's fine. I'd like to have Dave on one of these times too, CCRX, and talk railroading too. Maybe he can, get some photos of his up there too. So otherwise, that's all we got for tonight. on my end, I'd like to thank everybody so much for joining us this evening in this cold, harsh winter we're having in the eastern part of the U.S. here. And thanks everybody abroad for joining us this evening. Hot Dog Andy Pilot and Silvio and others. So otherwise, that's all I have today. Dave, you want to say anything to wrap it up? Dave's got some cool photos. He's going to. Yes, we are. We're on every Saturday night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, Georgia Sunbelt. We usually have premiere videos, but we do have live streams. Watch out for the live streams. We are going to be having more guest speakers coming up in our future here, very near future. So look for that. So Dave has some really cool slides he's scanning into his computer now of some vintage cool railroad photos. So I'm looking forward to seeing his presentations too on that. But anyway, Dave, do you got anything to add? And there's a little delay on his end maybe yet. And he's muted. Dave has some technical difficulties, so this is live. So whatever happens, the bloopers. So we'll get him hooked up to where he's hopefully good by the next go around here. So, but otherwise, Dave, thanks for joining us tonight. And this is Steve, Jenny, and Dave from Stormy Sky Rail Productions. We might see y'all in the next couple weeks live if I can get Frank on here in the next couple weeks. All right, this is Steve saying good night and out.